this is how I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna get kidnapped. Like, they're gonna drive me, they're gonna tie me up, and I'm gonna be on the news as some girl that was found in the lake or on the side of the road in some bushes. His whole demeanor just changed, like snapped.
Just want me a little bit to come show me some love. Too real, so I keep it 1,000. I'm in the walls like I feel like the plug. And it's crazy the way we connect. You say you want sex, I'll be there in one. Fuck that, baby, I need some love. I'm catching feelings, I don't say too much. Catch an op and I'm ready to dump. Pull up a wood, I feel it in my lungs. Through the ollie, I hop in a dunk. I'm trying to turn me an op in a runs. And you say that you hate.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This week I'm doing a story time, and I haven't done a story time in a while, so. And sorry if my hair is looking crazy because this lace is not laid, so that's why I have a band on. And then sorry if y'all see like a little mess in the back. I had got like a whole bunch of packages to do like a haul and stuff, so it's just sitting there. But yeah, back to the story time. So this happened like years ago, like when I was, I think, in my sophomore year of high school, and I was 16. So I'm gonna try to remember everything to the best of my ability to give y'all like details. This is kind of similar to my other story time of how I almost got kidnapped in Florida. So if y'all want to watch that, y'all can watch that. So with Uber, I take Uber a lot right now just because I don't really drive right now because I'm scared of driving. I know. Back then when I was in high school, I would go a lot of places like with my friends and stuff. So my mom wouldn't really like dropping me off. And she wouldn't like dropping me or my sister off, so we would always get Ubers places. I've never liked taking Uber. Like, even now I hate having to take Uber because it's just a really uncomfortable like situation, you know what I mean? Not even that, but you always hear like all these horror stories about people who get in Uber rides and either get kidnapped or like killed or get their life threatened, and it's just like, do I want to risk that? Like, even now I have weird experiences with Uber sometimes, with just like older men trying to talk to me and stuff, but like that's just like uncomfortable situations. But like this situation, like back then, this was an actual like scary situation where I was fearing for my life. That's how scary it was. At the time that this happened, I was 16 years old. I already told you that. And I was gonna see my friend that my mom didn't really like, so she didn't really like me hanging out with her. So she definitely was not going to take me to go see her or drop me off to go see her. So I took Uber. Y'all know how Uber like sometimes does like carpool, or they'll do like, they'll pick somebody up and then they'll pick you up in the same car. It's like an option. So I didn't mind doing that because it was cheaper. So that's what I did for that day. This man picks me up and he's not awkward or anything. He's just very open and like friendly. So I get in the car, everything's fine, everything's chill, everything's cool. Then he lets me know that he's picking up someone else on the way to drop me off to my destination, which is fine. He then pulls up to this bar, and I didn't really think anything of it until I saw the man that was coming to the car. It is daytime, like it is light outside. This man is coming out of a bar like stumbling drunk, about to get in the front seat of the Uber. And usually when you get in an Uber, you don't get in the front seat. You usually sit in the back seat. But for whatever reason, I wasn't even gonna question it because I didn't want that man sitting next to me. He gets in the front seat, and pay attention to what I'm saying. He sits down completely in his seat, about to close the door, right? And this was like the #1 red flag that really set it off for the whole story. This is what scared me. He sits down in his seat and he looks back and then he sees me. He then proceeds to talk to the Uber driver as if I'm not there, and it's like, oh, who's this? The guy kind of looks at him kind of weird because it's like, you could just ask her who she is. Why are you asking me? You know what I mean? Let me give y'all a visual representation of what this man looks like. This man was Caucasian. He was white. He looked like he was in his like late 30s, early 40s. So he was like, he looked older, way older than what I was. He had ginger hair, like a reddish, like ginger hair. And he had like this really big beard. He was balding too, so that's how I know he was old. He proceeds to be like, oh, who is this? See, me, I'm too nice. Like, I was never this type of girl to be like, you know, like, get the away from me, like, leave me alone. I tell him my name, I'm just like, I'm Tiana, like, very uncomfortably, because like, and then he stares at me for a second. And that's when he opens his door back up and is like, oh, I think I'm gonna go and sit next to Tiana. In the most creepiest tone, y'all. Like, do not sit next to me. Like, The way he's talking, you can tell this man is drunk. Like, even the Uber driver was kind of looking a little weird because, like, he was stumbling on his words. Like, he could barely get a full sentence out. So it's like, I do not want this man sitting next to me. Like, if he cannot control, like, you should have stayed in the front seat. Like, and so as he's getting out the car to come in the back seat, I'm kind of looking at the Uber driver like, so you're not gonna save me? Like, but in the end, like, he really did help me. It wasn't like you didn't do nothing, but why'd you let him get in the back seat with me? Another reason why I feel like the Uber driver helped me is because he knew I was 16. I feel like that's why he kind of wanted to be like, he gets in the back seat. The Uber driver just starts driving to take me to my destination. This was like the longest drive of my life, y'all. Like, the way this experience was just so uncomfortable. He starts making small talk with me, basically trying to ask me where I'm from, where do I stay at, how old am I? One of the most important questions. I tell him I'm 16. He proceeds to like talk to me and ask me personal questions and stuff like that. And y'all are probably sitting here like, well, why did you answer him? When I tell you, like, I'm a very, very sweet girl. So I'm not the type of girl that's gonna be here and be like, off, like, stop talking to me. You know what I mean? I'm very non-confrontational. Like, I don't like confrontation. Sorry, y'all. It's an ambulance outside. Okay. He's just making small talk with me, which is fine. You know, I'm uncomfortable, but it's not like I'm fearing for my life. You know what I mean? And his breath just reeks of alcohol. Like, it just smells like cigarettes and alcohol. This is the alarming, like, part where I was kind of like, okay, now you need to stop talking to me. He proceeds to be like, do you drink? And I'm telling him no, because I'm 16, like, I don't drink. He's like, well, I got a PlayStation and some bottles back at my crib if you want to, you know, join me. No, thank you. I'm not interested. Like, I'm good. Like, no. Then he starts being weird and he's just being like, don't be a party pooper. Like, don't be lame. Like, come on. I'm just like, no, like, I'm fine. I have to go see my friend. Like, I have plans. No, thank you. As this is happening, I kind of see the Uber driver in the front looking up at the mirror because he's hearing all of this. So it's like, I'm hoping that it gets to a point where he just tells him to stop. I'm trying to literally set the tone for how uncomfortable this situation was for y'all. While this man is talking to me, he's looking at me like dead in the eyes, like I'm just on my phone. Like, and he's just looking at me like this. Like, he's like smiling at me, like he's not even talking. Like, he was just staring at me and just saying, you're so pretty, like, you're pretty, over and over and over again. And that was kind of scaring me. Like, that is terrifying. Like, when I tell you, I was scared. Like, why are you in my face? At this point, I'm so scared. Like, I keep checking the time on the Uber app to see how far we got until I get to where I need to be so I can get out the car. Like, it felt like forever. Like, I felt so uncomfortable. But this is when I thought, like, this is it. After a while, like, he just keeps going on and on and on. I just ignore him. He starts getting kind of like persistent after that. He kind of just keeps talking to me, and then when he sees I'm ignoring him, he puts his hand on my leg and then he starts inching it and rubbing it up to like my thigh. I don't care how nice I am, I don't care how sweet I am, once you put your hands on me when I don't permit you to, that's when it's like, okay, you gotta stop. Like, you're doing too much. I'm kind of shocked that he even thought that was okay. I should have just hit him, but I took his hand off my leg and said, please stop. Then with his little like death stare, just staring at me, he looks at me and goes, oh, you're feisty, huh? I just continue going on my phone. I'm clutching my phone at this point, just freaking out, like I'm scared. I literally felt like this Uber driver was in on this and like with him about to kidnap me, and I kept checking the location to make sure I was going to where I needed to be. This is how I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna get kidnapped. Like, they're gonna drive me to where I need to be. They're gonna kidnap me. They're gonna tie me up, and I'm gonna be on the news as some girl that was found in the lake or on the side of the road in some bushes. Then proceeds to put his hand again on my thigh after I removed it and starts inching it up. And that's when my heart starts beating real fast and I'm having like a mini panic attack, because what do I do in that situation? Like, I've already told you to stop. I've already moved your hand. and you're still persisting. What am I to do? This is one of those situations where I wish I had like mace or something, or if I had like a taser. Then proceeds to try to put his hand again on my thigh, and the Uber driver sees that, and he finally says something and is like, she's 16, like just leave her alone, like just stop. And this is where it got scary. As soon as he said that, it's like his whole demeanor just changed, like snapped. He paused for a second, turned his head to the Uber driver, and just stared at him. And he just goes off and it's like, come on, man, like we just having fun, like leave us alone. Like, who is we? My adrenaline and like my like panic mode is so high. I'm just imagining the craziest of scenarios. I'm thinking like this man is gonna shoot the Uber driver and then get me, like. And then I'm trying to remember exactly what he asked. I know it was something sexual, but I can't remember exactly what he asked. But he had asked me something sexual, and that's when the Uber driver was like, come on, man, like come on, like you're doing too much, basically. And he goes, I'm just asking her a question. Like, I'm just asking her a question, like, why are you? The Uber driver goes, I understand that, but she's 16, man, like leave her alone. I'm so like inched up to the window, like close. That's how like uncomfortable I was. And this man is just like staring at me, just like in the middle seat, and I'm just like inched up on the window. So I'm looking out the window to see if we're at the mall, because as soon as we're there, I'm just gonna tell him to let me off like in the parking lot. Like, I'm fine with not being let off in the front. Like, you can let me off right here so I can get out. If it wasn't daytime, I wouldn't have done that, but since it was daytime and there was like people walking around and stuff, I was fine. I just wanted to get out as soon as I could. And in my head, I'm like, what if he gets out with me and decides that he wants to get out here? Because that's what I'm thinking like he's gonna do. The Uber driver ends up getting to the mall, and I'm just like, you can drop me off right here, like you can let me off right here. So he kind of looks at me and smiles because he knows like why I want to get off. Before I get out, I just go to the front and I thank him. Like, I look at him and I say thank you, because if it wasn't for you, I don't know how far that would have gone. Then I gave him 5 stars, and I get into the mall and I immediately tell my friend what happened. She was sitting at like this kiosk with another worker, so I kind of told the worker what happened too, and she was like, no, you need to tell the police, like you need to call the police. My panic mode was like still set in, so I'm standing there talking to my friend and this person, but I'm still looking around, like trying to make sure he didn't follow me in the mall, because that's how scared I was. Basically, I just reported the incident on Uber. After that, I was kind of on my toes for like the rest of the night because of how scared I was. All in all, like I was safe at the end of the night. I got home safely. I think I ended up going home with my friend that night. I don't think I took, or either that or my mom came and picked me up, because I was not taking another Uber home. Even now, I get weird situations with Uber sometimes, like with older men, always with older men. But I feel a little more better about it considering that I'm a little older. Not saying that that makes the situation like better, but it makes me feel more confident. I can speak for myself. Watch your surroundings, watch who's around you, watch who's talking to you, watch everything. That is pretty much all for this story time, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed. Again, I'm sorry for looking a mess because I usually don't look like this, so my hair is just not up to par today. I will be filming another video tomorrow. Actually, I'll be filming a clothing haul, and then I have my friend's birthday video, so I'll be filming that as well. And I'm getting my belly pierced. Thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, and make sure to like this video as well as subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching.
Look, how could she lose it? She already chosen.